and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. Hello there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to this very special light activation together with me. It's been a while since I recorded one, and today I was gently nudged by Spirit to provide all of us with a template for this new ascending cycle, which for a lot of us is really happening. A lot of people still talk about this as an external event or something that just happens and we, suddenly have that click. But it's actually a gradual process, because those of us who are in the path of self-mastery, we're feeling that every time we're not just more elevated, but we're also more descended into our earthly bodies. So we're merging the worlds so that these worlds are actually fused within ourselves. There's this knowing that we become a synthesis of the full divinity in our human form. So this light activation, which we will kind of do together, is meant to provide us with this template for the new. And a lot of people talk about this, the embodiment of our Christed seed within ourselves. And recently I've received this beautiful like a visualization with a golden egg that is kind of like floating within our own physical body, but we're the ones that are actually kind of like directing it. We're directing its flow. So as we're going to do this activation together, I would like you to visualize that, and at the same time we will work with the unification of our principles. So the divine masculine, the divine feminine, the source of all life, so the white mother spiral, and the seed of the Christed potential in our earthly human form. So let us begin. I also would like to ask you to, if you're guided in your own sacred space, maybe have some music, play some music, or just tune into this, the energy, what I'll share, what Spirit will kind of do through us. So I did this session, I did this light activation. When the first time we came through was in a beloved session with a divine companion, and what happened was that twice at the end of the session, when the meditation was intense and there was a shifted energy, I never had that experience before, but actually on Skype, 2 times there was a pop, and instead of a regular screen, there was this goldish light emanating from. It's like the screen changed for a minute, and this had nothing to do with the usual, sometimes technical difficulties can occur, but this was really a physical occurrence, almost like you pass by, sometimes a light bulb goes off and there's a pop. So the pop happened twice. So I see that, I felt that as doing that work in our ethereal template, in our ethereal blueprint, and then also in our physical earthly form. So if you have any questions about anything that's occurring in our ascending process, you can always send them to me via my email. It's provided on all of my web pages. Please consider the fact that this email is sacred, which means that it's meant for my work of service. It's not meant to spam me with any emails or things like that. Sometimes people do that because they don't appreciate those of us who are just really here to do the work, and we don't have time to filter. I don't have assistants to filter through my emails. So please respect that. And if you're guided to my further light activations, they're more in detail, and for each one of our segments as we're walking our journey of spirit, I have a whole package, or you can have single downloads of my light activations that I was recording throughout my spirit journey and how Spirit showed me this. And there's also feedback from many divine companions who already got these sessions and what they're feeling, what kind of shifts they're feeling, so you can see that for yourself. But for now, let us begin. And if you feel ready, just kind of drift off in your sacred space, have a moment, light a candle. I always advise people to kind of like circle themselves around with the white light of spirit, so that you feel yourself sitting in a circle of white light, which kind of gives you your own sacred space. So here, really feel safe and nurtured and non-disturbed, because this is really important when you're doing any kind of work of light in your physical body template. So let us begin. Please close your eyes and feel grounded and safe and secure in your white circle of light. Now put all of your focus into your physical body, and imagine that this physical body is a manifestation and a parallel experience to many different energetic bodies that you have, and give the subtle and yet profound decree that at this time, as you're working with the light of spirit, with the light of unity, you would like to be and sit with the merged, the fused energy of all of your bodies. So you're almost feeling like the descent of your light body into your physical form. And as this happens, there's a beautiful synthesis occurring within all of your energetic bodies that are all feeding you. They're fitting into your physical body system. And you're welcoming this experience as you're going deeper and deeper into this trance state, into the state of complete self-wholeness and union, as you're opening yourself up, giving the most subtle and yet again profound intention, because you are the master of your own intent, that this activation supports your personal ascension process, which is also in alignment with your descension process and co-creation process here in the physical, because we are becoming masters of the physical, the new earth, the new template, the new self. And as you're taking deeper and deeper breaths to be anchored into your true self, into your peaceful, serene nature, into your sacred meditation space, you're welcoming both essences of activation and integration. And as you do that, you see your energy flowing out of your physical body, creating a toroidal field, a magnetic and electric field of energy that encompasses your polarized, unified nature of your divine, masculine, feminine self. And you can see this energy emanating out and flowing back in a repetitive motion, in a beautiful, harmonious way, moving in and moving out, just as you're breathing in and breathing out. And as you feel that flow of deep breath, you give the intent that you welcome yourself to the new light, to the new cycle of your ascension experience that also influences your descension experience, that you no longer see any separation between the two, in order for you to create a synonymous flow and unanimous flow of ascension, descension light, creating one unified pillar of white light of our ascended self, moving in our physical force. So anything what we're doing, we're just inviting that which already is, which always was and will be, into our current synthesized ascended, descended experience, into our masterful presence in this moment that we call now. And as you make this decision, place the intention for this unification process, and any sort of soul desire, whatever you may have for your new activated life reality experience, just put it there, put it out there, reverberate it outwards into the all life of spirit, all presence. And take a deep breath, and with an exhale, release that. With that release, feel that trust into that divine flow and perfection, into the nature of complete merging with the divine time and the orchestration of all things that support you, your microcosm within the greater macrocosm. And feel that knowing, that belonging, that safe essence of being your own beloved, of being in your safe home, feeling that no matter what happens, here you are here for a reason, and you're doing this work of light for a reason. And as you do that, you're already welcoming yourself and this new energy, which is basically eternal energy because it always is, but it's new for you, as the master of the now, want to experience it in this cycle. So as you make that conscious intent and choice, feel the energy of your intent moving from your body, from the root of your physical experience, upwards towards your crown chakra and bursting out, linking with your stellar gateway, your soul star chakra, which is above your head. And it links to your multidimensional star levels. It links to your star origin and your unique star seed. template, which you, as an infinite being of light, you're always infinitely connected to. And so, as you know this, you feel a deepening of that connection. And from that gateway, which you fully now feel your own belonging to, even if it doesn't have a name, an origin, or your physical mind kind of interpretation, just know that this is where energy is spontaneously through your soul knowing, and this is where it's moving towards. And as you make that contact, you see a beautiful shining star, and the star of Merkaba. And from that star, from your own stellar origin, feel the uniqueness of spirit within all life of creation moving through that gateway point, making contact with it. So you're actually connecting with your star root, and you want to bring those roots deeply into your physical experience. So what you now see, witness, and experience is a beautiful white spiraling light that starts to descend from that star point of origin. And it starts to enter from that point in its expansive rotating motion, in its cyclical nature, and yet it's a spiraling nature, moving into your physical body template. As it does so, it wraps you up in spiraling rotations all over you, so that every cell in your physical body is engulfed, is enmeshed within this white spiraling light, the white light of spirit. And this way, although you have a unique stellar gateway, you also feel connected to all the spiraling motions, to all these stellar experiences, to all the multidimensional facets of all life in creation and all beings in unity consciousness. Through this, you know your uniqueness, and yet what we will do, we will plant that Christed seed within that uniqueness, becoming that uniqueness in your physical form, fully and completely. Now imagine that white spiraling light as it descends into your body. So as you've been ascending into your stellar self, now you feel the descent of this white light and its spiraling motion, and how it creates this external egg formation, this white egg of light as an ovoid of light around your physical body, and still you are existing within your toroidal field nature as your electric and magnetic forces of creation as one. And within that, you see this nesting egg. You are floating within this egg. And this is the experience of your creation self, of your core template. Now what we will do is we will ask that white light of creation, the spiraling force, the life force that comes into your physical body, that feeds you, that nourishes you, that internalizes you, and always gives you guidance directly from your center point. Now you see this light, you ask it to go into your current center point in your body, wherever this center point in your body is currently rooted. Just let the white light of spirit, let that life force show you where this is for you now. See that light being anchored there. And from that anchor point is what we will do. We will imagine all of a sudden this birth. This triangulation of energy creates a divine birth within you. And that birth, in that middle space, in your physical body, it's an energetic essence experience, and yet it's coming, it's descending into your physical form. And now what you see is this growing, beautiful golden egg, a co-creation of your divine self with your human self. And before the egg begins to grow in its size until its ultimate potential is reached, you see the double looping infinity symbol. You see a vertical white light infinity symbol, and from it you see also a horizontal golden spiraling light infinity symbol. They are intertwined in the middle space, in the 0-point polarity, the fusion of your unity consciousness, the gateway where your spirit and the human self meet. And within that, you see the seeding, the growing point for that nesting golden egg. Now from that middle space, you ask that now this golden egg of your seeded Christ itself in the physical form starts to grow. And now see that egg expanding and growing. It's in alignment with your external white ovoid of light egg, your overlighting light body self. And now this golden essence within you wants to grow and emerge. Now, as you feel comfortable, as you expand your beautiful golden egg, see yourself as a magical divine child living in that egg, from that sacred space of who you are as a divine being, but also fully incarnated in this physical experience, without any fragmentation, without any duality. Pure return to innocence is what is harbored in this beautiful golden egg, wrapped around with a beautiful, bigger, larger white light of unity egg. Now, as you feel this, tune into the feeling, the essence, or maybe a picture, a mental, psychic picture of how it feels to be that beautiful divine child. What are your attributes? What are your main physical attributes that you bring through your unique self, from your divine self template? Just ask to be shown your unique nature of that divine child, your inner birth that you're always accessing when you're moving into the template of your fifth density self and beyond. Now feel ready to embrace that part of you which is a synthesis, a love creation from your masculine, feminine self merged together as one. That egg is a product of unity, a product of divine love. It's a creation of you. It is you. Now feel how that egg is not fixed to that center point in your body where you felt at this point in time is your center point in the physical body. You feel now how it's almost like liquid. It starts to move. It starts to go up and down, left and right. You can move this egg. And because you have the ability to do that, you feel that this egg is like almost trying to and wanting to overlight itself. It wants to be shared. It wants to radiate out. And as you feel ready, you see that even if you're kind of like squeezing the egg or popping it and whatever you're doing, it still holds its main formation. It holds its stability. It has its own vortex. It has its own seeding point. It is your Christed seed, the seed of that divine birth, because the Christ is the union of divine feminine and masculine. And in its purest physical expression, it becomes the expression, the overflowing of divine love as it translates itself into human physical experience. So feel now how this egg, because it has an infinite abundance of that love, that infinite nature of love, unconditional, fully embracing, fully open love, it like pops and it gives out these beautiful sprinkles, like it overflows these tiny light particles. And this is the overlighting presence of your being, which starts to kind of create that glow. It starts to lift you off in your physical template with your ascended, descended light as one, as within unity consciousness. And within that, you feel these ripples of energy. They're moving out. They're moving out across space and time, and they're finding their origin. They're calling out for things and experiences you wish to feel as a divine magical child on this planet. You're no longer thinking or feeling ascension, you're living ascension. Ascension is something you do. It's who you are. It's not a separate thing. It's not a metaphysical subject to study. It's an actual physical experience. And that harboring egg of your magical child, that divinity, that divine birth, which you have co-created up until this point, which you have birthed through you as you, now feel that and these sprinkles moving out, and by that bigger overlaying white light egg, you know that there's this trust in all life in creation, that these ripples, when they're going out, when they're overflowing, they know exactly where to go. And that's why your inner magical divine child, the child of creation, is here to play, to experience joy, because you cannot have joy just by ascending. You need to descend and overflow. That is when you create a space of joy. And now from this space, you give this intention that as this fifth density and beyond self, when your seed of the Christ itself was planted as the union of merged polarities, of opposites becoming the true androgynous nature of who we are, of who you are, creates this. And it creates this overlighting ascended experience. It's no longer ascending, it's ascended. You feel how your true master self is not separate from your divine magical self, because the magical self is who you are, is your divine child, is the product of your master self. Feel this and know the importance and the true meaning of your magical child, and how it guides you into creating a magical life in the physical form, how all of your dreams can come true, how everything you wish to create is created from this space of this golden egg within you. It's overflowing. It's an infinite resource of love. Love in action, love in form, love in motion. It's what moves you. It's what creates soul passion. It's what makes you thrive and be as that unique identity as you. Now feel these sprinkles of light moving all around, reaching their destination, trusting that the ethers and the physical are no longer separate, and all the worlds and all the experiences, all the dimensions you wish to tune into are all existing and coexisting as one, always in a unified field of one. So you're not ascending through any linear notions. It's not a static process. It's a journey of unfoldment, of the unveiling of those overlaying facets to all that you are, to the multidimensionality of who you are. And it's always growing and expanding. And from that space of that golden egg, you have now the ability and the understanding to start your new life as your ascended self. To feel yourself as ascended and yet continuously expanding. You have ascended in your physical form, and yet you will continue to rise and expand. So feel this as a completion, a reemergence, and yet a new beginning. Something and somewhere you haven't been there before. Something totally new, something brand new. In every single way and potential. So all that you're overlighting out and reverberating outside of you, it's basically also within you. So it's a unified experience, and yet it's that which will create new pathways, new pioneering adventures and escapades, and will create new templates for a new growth, and it will of course co-create with others, and it will find these new divine potentialities to find their true home and meaning as within your renewed purpose, your resurrected, ascended purpose within this lifetime. And yet feeling it as a completely new lifetime at the same time. So feel now through this rippling out, through these overlighting sparkles, particles of light, all these divine potentialities which come from a unified self. These are no longer fragmented experience. These are just all that you are, and yet they're overflowing, they're moving out. Reaching their potential, returning to you, reaching, returning to you. So the double looping formation of the infinity symbol is that vertical, your stellar self, your multidimensional self meeting the horizontal, the earth, the human self experiences in a joint point of unity. And so now with this feeling, with this knowing, you congratulate yourself for being where you are, who you are, doing this work of light for yourself and to show the way for all. Feel personally liberated and free from all that in the past you perceived as not whole, as fragmented, as outside of you. Everything you were seeking was for a reason, and now feel how this all comes back to you. And by becoming back into you, you now from this ascended, descended space, you can ripple it out yet again. Because you've mastered it, and you can now send these reverberations wherever you want to. You're becoming a master of energy. You're becoming an alchemist. You're becoming a fundamentalist in a way that is new. It's not dogmatic. It is completely brand new. So take a moment to feel how that sacred space, how that newness feels to you. And maybe feel a touching glimpse of that core desire that you have planted within yourself in the beginning of this activation, and feel into the guidance of what you perceive to be a new step, new beginning, new pathway, because everything begins with those first few steps in our ascended self. And knowing that although you don't always physically have the evidence, there's a feeling, there's an innate knowing that tells you that this is true, that this is truth, that this is what you've chosen, that this is what you continuously choose. And this is how you know. So welcome yourself in this space. Thank you so much for being here, for doing this activation. You can do anything that pleases you at this time, that brings you joy, whether it's dancing, singing, doing art, or just resting quietly in your space. But I'm really thanking you for co-creating this together with us as a group of Ascension pioneers. And although sometimes it's still challenging, it feels hard, or feels like we're pushed beyond the norms and all the extremes and everything we thought imaginable before, it's still the path that we have chosen, and we are always finding enough strength and inner reserve to keep on going. And on this new pathway, we're going to have to continue to keep on going, only in a slightly different, enhanced, more freed up way than ever imaginable before. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your feedback and supporting. I love you all so very much. And with always is love, wisdom, and power, I greet you from this beautiful sacred space here in our mountain portal. Namaste.